Hello, Matt here. As you've seen in the last video, this car has bad engine, has no compression, and today we are determining the source of that. So we already took the battery out, and now we are taking off the cylinder head. This will be a joyful adventure, especially considering the space we have to work in. So let's go! First things first, we're taking off all the hoses. So this one, this one, this one. This is the air filter, and there's also one hose here. We're taking off ignition coils, we're taking off spark plugs, and we're taking off valve cover. Let's start, as I said, with all these hoses. First off, there's a clip here, one clip here. There is a bolt that goes here. It's underneath the hose and over the oil dipstick, and there's one bolt here. Also a connector for map sensor, whatever it is, up here. Once you've taken these off, this hose is ready to go off. 2 bolts, 10 mil. These were also 10 mil. Again, 2 clips. You can use 8, 7. I think this is 8, this is 7, this is 7, this is 8, whatever. Or you can use the flat-headed screwdriver, whatever floats your boat. Now you're taking this off. Then we've unclipped this hose, unclipped this connector here, and this one connector here, which goes all the way over there. We've moved it aside. I don't know how much you can see, but hey, we moved that aside, clip here. We need to unclip it here, and then this hose is also ready to go. This one didn't want to go, but it's out now. As I said, this is now off. We remove it from the turbo side, and it's off here. And now, is it bolted here? No, it isn't. We remove it here, and that's also off. Next up, 10 mil bolt here. 2 clips, one there and there, and we can remove this hose. So we take off this bolt, then there's a clip down there, twist it around like this, and you should be able to pull it off like that. Next up, we'll remove the coils. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, these are on tight. There's a clip here. There are 2 pins in here, so it has to go all the way here. And there is a clip holding it here, if I'm not mistaken. Now it would be nice not to break it. It's out here, and yeah, that's also off. Now we have 8 mil nut here. We remove the nut, and then we will be able to remove the cable all the way off. It's always a good idea to have a sorting box like this, so all the pipes and hoses, bolts go here. This is also a clip. This, I don't know what it is. It's not from this car. I guess we can take the valve cover off. So there's a camshaft angle sensor here. There is a connector here. I don't know how much you can see, probably nothing. But you just pull this off. We'll pull off the clip here. And we will put all this aside for now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I lost count.
10.
11. And last 12th one. Okay, next up, we are removing the air filter. So these are T23 Torx. There's not enough space to remove the whole thing, so you have to remove the cover off and then remove the rest out. And we'll clip this out like this, and it should come out like that. I forgot to drain out the coolant, so yeah, we'll have to do that too. Okay, so we removed this. There were 2 bolts. This now goes out. 1, 2, 3, 10mm bolts holding the heat shield. So as you've seen, 1, 2, 3 bolts, and there are 2 bolts down here, which I don't know how I'll access, but we'll do something and try to get to them. Alright, so we removed coolant hose that's going to the expansion tank. We've removed lambda sensor clip from over there, and now I'll try and get the intercooler off, because as it sits right now, it's mostly in the way. Okay, so decided to take the bumper off to get some more space to work on. There's a plastic clip here, this plastic clip here, which you need to watch out not to break. They are, I think they are even one-time use, but you can undo it easily. 1 10mm bolt down here, other 10mm bolt down here, plastic clip, plastic retainer, and you've seen 4 T20 or T25, T20 bolts up here. Now we'll try and remove the intercooler, because as I said, there's absolutely no way to get to this bolt here, and these 2 bolts are also almost impossible to get to. Maybe we will even remove the whole front end. So headlights, 1, 2, 3 bolts, no, 3 bolts, and a connector, that's off. Now we'll remove this cross member. Once remove this cross member, I'll check out the situation with the coolers, but as it stands now, probably everything is going off, because as I said, absolutely no place to work here, and not many bolts on the front, so it's actually easier to remove everything and just work like a normal human being and not like a no-armed dwarf. For the cross member, I think these are 15, 16, something like that. 3 of them are here, disconnected the horn. We'll see, these are T20 down there to remove the wheel arch, the same on the other side, and yeah, if I find anything else, I'll show you. So this beam is off. As I said, 1, 2, 3 there, 2 T20s here, and 3 10mm bolts down there for the plastic cover that's on. You remove that. Now I'll try and remove the air condensator so it's not in the way. These are 2 clips here, and it should be pulled off, and then try and bend it somewhere. I hope I'll have enough flex in the pipes so that I don't have to discharge the gas. And after that, there should be only 2 bolts here, and the radiator and all the front should come off. Now it's a lot easier to work on. As you can see, this bolt, these 2 bolts, they're practically impossible to get to. This one needed to be removed. I mean, all in all, as I said, a lot more space, a lot easier to work on, and now we will be able to wash the engine and everything. So yeah. And that's it. Now we've reached the turbo. Now, removing the timing chain. First things first, we'll remove the belt. This is a 30 or 32. It helps if you have someone to remove the belt, like I do. We have removed the wheel and the wheel arch cover. As for this, you just pull it here, it releases the tension, and then you can take the belt completely off. Like that. See, there's the clip. But okay, that's not in the way. So we remove these three E10s. But before that, we will lock the crankshaft with the crankshaft locking tool. Now the crankshaft is locked. We need to remove this hose. And to remove this hose, you have to unclamp it down there on the intake manifold. It's an 8mm socket and you cannot reach it. I mean, it's hard as hell. So wish me luck with that. I will just show you this. You have to see this. This just annoys me. Come in, try and film it where my hands are. So all the way down here, you cannot see, do anything, move anything. But trust me, there's a clip 8mm socket. You can hear it. I'm undoing it. It's the same as this one up here. And once we undo it, we will remove the hose, and then we remove the timing chain tensioner. Once we remove the timing chain tensioner, it's time to remove the timing chain. So yeah, see you after a few more minutes of this.
And we're back.
Here we have the tensioner, 27, no space to work at all. I don't know how much you can see. 27 down here. That's the timing chain tensioner. That's what we need to undo now. Free. And that's off. Next up, 18mm for the crankshaft, E14s for the camshaft. Then we will remove the engine mount, put something under the engine so it takes the strain, and then we will undo timing chain guides. Alright, the engine mount is out. T20, 4 bolts up here, 2 bolts down there, and then 16s, 4 pieces. Now we can get to the guide. This is a T45, I think, or 50. To remove the oil pump tensioner, that's 1, 2, 3, 10mm bolts. And then we can get to the guides. Down there, it's also, I think it's a T50. Last but not least, we've taken out the crankshaft bolt and the guide. I'll show you that down there. We're taking off this guide, timing chain guide. We'll take out these two E12s, E14s. When putting this all together, you should use new bolts because they are torque to yield. I won't be using new bolts, but it's risky, but that's the way I do it. What can I say? Now, something to not drop the chain down. Also, don't drop this down into the engine. Almost. And that's it. One timing chain out. Now we go on with removing the head from the engine, but that's for tomorrow because I'm too tired right now. We disassembled half of the car. We started after lunch and it's pretty late right now. We've been at it for like 3 or 4 hours, so enough work for today. Alright, day 2 of our headless adventure, or soon to be headless. Timing chain is out. Now we have to undo these 10, 12 or whatever, 12 bolts. I have to undo these 3 bolts for downpipe. These have been removed already for the exhaust collector, and the intake manifold bolts have been removed already. So to release the downpipe, 3 nuts, studs, whatever, up here, and 2 nuts, one here, one here. Then you can move it aside like we did here. I undid the turbo mount here. That's a 10mm bolt. And now, well, I don't know what to do now. Well, maybe if I tried removing all these studs, then I can just remove the head. So this one is from camshaft, exhaust camshaft. This one is from wastegate. Who designed this? I mean, getting all this off, you need to... It would be easier to buy a new engine and assemble it part by part and put it back in and just... It would be easier to buy a kit car and build that up than doing this crap. And I still can't even move the intake manifold. I don't know what's that. I don't know if you can see under the car. There is one more 10mm bolt holding the intake manifold. That one here. So let's take that one off. So after removing that bolt from the underside there, the intake manifold is off. Now we need to remove... I really don't want to remove the turbo, but I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think I can get off with just removing the studs or something. I don't know. Now, this camshaft variator, whatever this is off. 1, 2, 3 T30 bolts. Also took out all the studs that held the exhaust manifold in. So now it's free from exhaust manifold. The turbo is resting on, well, it shouldn't be resting on these, but I don't care. Next up, this one bolt is off. All the cables from here have been removed. Now, also this fuel line has been removed for whatever this is. The fuel line has been removed from it. Now I forgot this is the direct injection engine, so I need to check out how to remove fuel injectors from down there. As you can see, they are directly to head and not to the intake manifold as they usually are, so that's one more thing to be removed. And then there are 2 bolts, one 10 bolt here, one here, and one up here, so 3 bolts to be exact, that hold the thermostat. And I think that's it. The head can finally come off. Now, last thing we need to do is remove the fuel rail. Fuel rail has 2 Torx T45 bolts, I believe, right here. They are here. But before we can do that, we need to remove the intake manifold. And that's where I have a problem, because there apparently is one more bolt for the intake manifold. Nope, nothing is holding it. These are just cables, clips and shit. Okay, we need to remove cables, clips and shit. And then we undo the fuel rail, take out the injectors, and the head is ready to come off. Okay, there was just some connectors holding the intake manifold. Once you remove the intake manifold, there are 4 Torx T45 bolts holding the fuel rail. 2 are here, 2 more here, 2 more. Once we remove these 2 more, we should be able to take the fuel rail off, and then finally should be able to get the head off. Now we need to pry the fuel rail out of the head and the injectors out of the head. Hopefully not damaging them in the process. That's more or less it. To undo the head, 12 E12 bolts. Oh, also these two. What are these? E10s, I guess. Now we really need to watch out not to drop this down into the oil pan, because if we do, then there's a nice job of removing the oil pan, finding them. And now, hopefully, the head should be willing to come off. Or not. Whatever. Oh yeah. Here's what... I don't know what that is, but I'm pretty sure it needs to be undone also. So E10. Let's take that one off, and hopefully then head will come off. Managed to get a small 8mm socket on and undo the bolt, and hopefully it will come out without removing the Venus actuator. Please, please.
I need to do it.
I think that's it. One more try. How in the hell's name did so much water get into the engine? Third thing, I'm changing the oil either way, so it doesn't bother me that there is so much fluids here, but we need to get them out. So first peek at the cylinders, they look okay. Except this one, it has rusty edge, so yeah. Looks like this cylinder had a problem. Everything else I cannot see any bigger problems. We'll cover this up for now. Well, that's it. Head gasket doesn't look blown anywhere. It's an MLS gasket, so you see there. And the head has a lot of carbon buildup. You can see, I don't know if that's possible, but I know there is a shiny edge. Well, either way, the head is going to a machine shop, get it tested, checked out, worked on, fixed up, and then we'll put it back in the car. Well, for now that's it. That's one way of taking the head of a THP Citroen 1.6 turbo engine. As always, hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a like, subscribe. There is a lot more content coming, especially with this car. Especially putting this car back together, which will be a pain, but hey, it has to be done. Either way, as always, I hope to see you in the next one.